Hi, my name is Fizzah, and I am going into my third year of Systems and Computing Engineering at the University of Guelph, and I just recently finished my internship at Deloitte this summer. So I just finished my first internship at Deloitte as a Business Technology Analyst this summer, and while my responsibilities kind of differ on a day-to-day basis, a couple of notable ones that I will mention include monitoring and evaluating client information to talk to clients about different ways that we can improve their solutions and ways that we can use technical aspects to kind of make them more relevant within their fields. So during my time at Deloitte as a business technology analyst, I was able to actually get staffed on a project. And a couple of the responsibilities I had for the project were things like quality assurance testing and client walkthroughs and presentations, as mentioned. A couple of things that we did go through, like in terms of consulting in general, that line of service is huge on its own. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of it, and that really enabled me to look at different levels of senior managers or partners and be able to connect with them. And consulting really allowed me to actually kind of grow my network, and I'm fortunate for all the things I learned with it. So a typical day for me at Deloitte kind of looked like an 8:30 a.m. call was the first thing that started our day, and our call was to offshore for Deloitte India's consultants. So every morning we'd call the consultants in India and we'd kind of go through with them what they had worked on for their day-to-day life and things that we could work on to follow up on whatever they were working on. That way we worked kind of seamlessly throughout the day and were able to target more projects and get things done more efficiently. Our 9 a.m. call was with my manager, and she would kind of walk through what our specific roles and delegate tasks amongst me and some of my coworkers. Following that, we kind of just were given the day to ourselves to kind of go through and work on whatever we were supposed to be working on, whether that be spreadsheets or demos, walkthroughs, client presentations, any kind of information that we needed to prepare to demonstrate to the clients, or any calls that we had. That's kind of what it looked through from 9 to 5, and we had our good days. We had donuts on Tuesdays and lunch and learns on Thursdays. The occasional bubble teas, and yeah, it was a good time day in, day out. So the way I was recruited to Deloitte was a little bit different than the other interns that I met while I was working there, and that was mostly because I was recruited through a hackathon. So February of 2017, I had attended Q-Hacks, which took place at Queen's University in Kingston. And there I had met with a team of fourth years. And while I was only in first year, I was able to connect with a recruiter at the Deloitte sponsorship panel. And there, while I was still a little young, they had taken my information. And that summer, I was able to kind of connect with them and meet with them, with partners and other senior managers, to kind of see if Deloitte was a place that I'd be looking to do my internship at. After that, I was actually able to connect with the recruiter once again and be listed as a golden ticket student. So golden ticket students are hand selected from hackathons, and those students are actually given interview opportunities. So following the interview opportunity, I was actually able to go to the Deloitte office downtown, give my interview, and fortunately I was able to get my offer letter in the October. So the whole process itself was about 8 months, but it really kind of depends on how fast or how slow they move it for you. And yeah, that's kind of what had happened. So some of the challenges that I faced while working at Deloitte were kind of more so putting myself at the standards and holding myself accountable as a proper Deloitte employee. As an intern, some people may have the illusion that you're not doing enough proper tasks or not being utilized to your utmost potential. But at Deloitte, I can tell you for sure that it's completely different. They have high expectations of you, whether you're a first-year intern or a fourth-year intern or a full-time employee. They all hold the levels the same. And while it does sound a little bit intimidating, it does leave you feeling purposeful and feeling like you have made a proper contribution to the project, as you're able to do your client presentations on your own, which was kind of the biggest scare for me. You're also able to talk to employees around the floor directly and meet with other people for lunch and kind of talk about the project itself. So I think those were kind of a little bit scary at first, but once I was able to do it, I felt like I was actually belonged at Deloitte as a proper employee, and something like that is like, it makes you feel like you really kind of contributed to the whole team itself and made your way to it. So if I kind of break it down, I think the top 3 things that I learned while working at Deloitte this summer was, 1, accountability, which is something that I kind of touched upon earlier, was just how to be responsible for your tasks and how to make sure that you're completing them at the utmost performance and making sure they're top level, client level worthy. That was definitely a challenge for me at first, but with a lot of help from my coworkers, I was able to see what kind of the base requirement was and kind of go make it my own. And that taught me how to just kind of really perform well for clients and how to take it really seriously. The second thing that I'd really like to stress, which is what I kind of learned too, is networking with people in consulting is crucial to kind of bringing yourself back in later years if you ever wanted to continue working for Deloitte. I learned that too. I would kind of have Fridays, everyone would delegate their time to coffee chats and things like that to meet with people at all levels. I met with senior consultants, senior managers, partners even, and everyone there is actually really open to meeting with you, talking to you. They know as an intern, you want to be able to kind of learn all the different things that Deloitte has to offer, which is quite a lot. And third of all, I think the biggest thing that I took away from this summer was kind of just enjoying the time that you have there and really embracing the project or whatever role or responsibility you're given. Because 4 months, which is how long my internship was, goes by incredibly fast. And while I was able to enjoy like the Raptors winning the championship this year, I was able to enjoy Deloitte's fiscal year kickoff for the consultants, and enjoying the little things really contributes to having a good internship experience altogether. And that's kind of in your hands too at the end of the day. So really take advantage of every opportunity and make the most of it. So for consulting specifically, one thing I'd really like to stress is kind of just the networking aspect, mostly because consulting is one of the biggest lines of service that Deloitte has to offer. That being said, there are so many people at so many different levels that you can talk to, whether it be in digital consulting or other core business operation models. So the world is really kind of yours to play with, and networking, connecting was kind of my biggest strong set, as I really took the time to kind of reach out to people and talk to people about any projects that they were working on. Sometimes it made it a little tricky because they had really cool projects and I wish I could have hopped on that. But one of the biggest challenges too is that if you are staffed on a project, then it's really hard and really important to stay true to that project and give it your best, because you know that your coworkers are watching you and really monitoring your behavior in order to get the return offer, which is everyone's end goal at the end of the summer. So some of the pros and cons for consulting at Deloitte, or just anything at Deloitte really, is kind of Deloitte itself is one of the big four, as a lot of people know it, but it's super well funded. They have so many people looking to talk to. In terms of everything in general, Deloitte is a really cool place to work because of their agile workspace. I'm not sure if many people have heard of that, but they have completely renovated their Bay office, and it's green and red and blue and purple and every other color, and they really have it built with glass walls to allow transparency. There's some really nice places to sit and work, some really nice views of like the financial district itself. That's a big pro that I found was really cool working at Deloitte. In addition to that, there are a lot of different events. There's like pizzas for random reasons, whenever the weather's nice. There's different people doing like Friday TED Talks or different panel discussions. They really look at everything that everyone's interested in and they'll bring people in and have just different discussions about them, which makes it a really cool place to work because they kind of tie into everybody's interests and really motivate you. They also have yoga workouts and actual like things that you could do besides working, which is really nice. One of my favorite things about the Deloitte office, I feel like I'm talking about the office, but the office is actually like a core component to how people want to work there. They have this huge LED panel screen on the second floor that kind of tells you which floor has the most space to work in and which floors are too busy to work in, and which floors have had the most water consumption and which floors haven't. So I feel like that was really cool because I'm like a big tech nerd myself, that I really thought that that was a really good use of information and kind of collecting data about the Deloitte employees. A couple of cons though, if anything, I think for my project on its own, in consulting what happens is if you are working for a client, there are client deadlines, and client deadlines come up pretty quick and they come up pretty fast, and sometimes the client throws in a little thing at the end that you didn't really see to begin with. So you do spend a couple nights late. You do spend a little time overtime kind of working fast and working away, but a big perk was the free expensed Uber ride home after working late, and they often order lunch and dinner for you too if you ever were. So Deloitte really took care of you, and safe to say, like, I would definitely want to come back again. So I guess a couple of things that I would kind of recommend or like consider life lessons for myself is kind of never losing sight of the main goal. I feel like a lot of people, they go through life and they get caught up and they get busy and sidetracked and things like that. But I feel like if you're constantly motivating yourself to keep looking forward and kind of seeing where you want to end up, then I think you'll always kind of be persevering or looking for opportunities to better yourself as a student and as an employee and as a prospective employee, anything like that. And I couldn't stress that enough, that everything that everyone's doing that constantly feels like they're bettering themselves, keep doing it. Because a lot of companies not only look for strong students and well-rounded students, but they look for people who have like different side hobbies or talents or extra things that they do on the side. They volunteer, things like that. So really kind of follow anything that you believe in or is a passion of yours and keep going with it, because it not only makes you well-rounded, it makes you a better person overall for a hiring candidate. So something I guess is pretty interesting or funny to look at was this year, as everybody knows, the Raptors did win the finals and they are the NBA champions. Being a big basketball fanatic myself, I was really looking forward to being in Toronto for all of this. It was a really good time in general. The day of the Raptors parade, actually, me and my other intern coworker were kind of figuring out how we could go and attend the parade. We couldn't want to miss history. And so we messaged our manager at about 11:30 at night, which is a big no-no, but we were pretty close to our manager. And we're like, okay, listen, the Raptors parade is tomorrow, but we really want to go. Like, is that okay? We'll be gone for a couple hours. She was like, yeah, I'll join you, and I'll just skip the day and go to the Raptors parade. So I laughed like pretty bad, because I was like, oh my god, if anyone ever has to talk to their manager about skipping the day of work to go to the Raptors parade, I don't know if it'd work out the same, but that was pretty cool. It worked out really well. So kind of where I see myself in 10 years, or my 10-year plan goal, I definitely would like to stay within consulting. Having an engineering background, I feel like it makes it kind of weird, or people don't really get it at first, being like, you're so technical, why would you want to go to consulting? But there's something different about being able to talk to clients and help them and kind of work with people one-on-one instead of sitting beside a cubicle all day and kind of programming or looking at spreadsheets or doing some more technical work. I'd rather be on the field and kind of get my head in the game and really get my hands dirty. So consulting really allows you to do that. In other ways, I definitely probably want to get my MBA after my bachelor's, and definitely the professionalization of engineering is definitely something I'd look at. I definitely want to keep kind of bettering myself in terms of getting technical certifications throughout the next few years, because I feel like being in a tech field, you really kind of have to keep bettering yourself and in order to stay relevant, and kind of just traveling. I really want to travel a lot, and I really want to find a job that allows me to do that. I haven't been able to do a lot recently, kind of with how school's been going in my summer. It's been devoted to internship, but I know long term I really want to take some time to like go to Europe and things like that.